I was playing GTA with my friend, but the problem is we decided to start a live stream. We got started and had a few viewers and we were really excited. But suddenly my parents stormed into the living room. They seemed really upset and my dad shouted, "You boys play that damn game way too much. Now go play outside. I don't want to see you two until dinner." I told him, "Dad, we're in the middle of a live stream here. We'll leave in 5 minutes, okay?" Even more furious, he said, "No, you're leaving right now. Go play outside and don't come back until dinner. Got it?" After he kicked us out, he turned to my mom and said, "Are you ready, honey?" while unbuttoning his trousers. My mom gave him a wicked smile, nodded in approval, and removed her top. I was a bit angry that he kicked us out, and after a few minutes of walking, I said, "You know, I can't believe he kicked us out of our own live stream. That's ridiculous, right?" My friend ignored me and kept staring at his phone, so I said, "Did you hear me? I can't believe he kicked us out of our own live stream." He kept staring at his phone, so I asked him, "What's going on there? What are you looking at?" My friend excitedly replied, "We're getting so much views." I went to the park with my grandma, but the problem is my grandma saw an elderly man and told him, "Excuse me, I can guess your exact age in 5 minutes." Confused, he asked her, "How can you guess my exact age? I've never even met you." She replied, "Well, it's quite easy. All you have to do is drop both your pants and your underwear." I was so shocked that I didn't even know what to say. And before I could think of something to say, he unzipped his pants, dropped his trousers and his boxers. After he finished undressing, my grandma told him, "Okay, now turn around slowly." He complies and does a complete slow spin. Then she says, "Well done. Now I want you to jump up and down 3 times. He complies, and when he's done, my grandma tells him, "Now put your clothes back on." After a few minutes, he finishes dressing up, and she says, "Okay, I know your exact age. You're 83 years and 1 day old, right?" Both me and the elderly man were shocked, and he asked her, "What? That's my exact age. How could you know that?" My grandma smiled and said, "Well, I was at your birthday party at the park yesterday. An old sailor is getting divorced, but the problem is the only family he has left is 2 blondes. So he goes to them and says, 'I want to be buried at sea.' The blondes are a little shocked at first, but eventually they agree. A few years later, the sailor passed away and the 2 blondes load his body into a rowboat and start sailing. After they had gone deeper into the ocean, the blondes stop rowing and check the depth. So she gets out of the rowboat and says, "The water doesn't even reach my knees. We need to go further." So she gets back on the boat and keeps sailing. After 30 minutes, the blondes again stop and check the depth again. This time the water reaches her neck and she says, "It's not deep enough. We need to go even further." So they go out some more, and after stopping again, the blonde checks the depth. However, this time she goes totally under and is out of sight for several seconds. Worried, the other blonde goes looking for the first blonde, but she can't find her. After about 2 minutes, the first blonde comes back out of nowhere and says, "This is deep enough. Hand me the shovel." A son went to a local supermarket, but the problem is the prices are extremely high. Angry, he goes to his father and says, "Dad, I was just at the supermarket, and they charged me $10 for 2 milk bottles. That's insane!" The father thinks for a while and says, "Son, when I was your age, I went to the supermarket with a $1 bill and got 3 milk bottles, 6 eggs, 2 breads, 4 apples, and a watermelon." The son is shocked. He says, "Wow, all these products for only $1? I can't believe prices were that low back then." The father adds, "Well, prices were definitely lower back then, but not that low. It's just an old trick I used to get everything much cheaper." Confused, the son says, "Well, can't you use this trick now?" The father replies, "Well, you technically can, but it won't get you far, and it will probably get you in a lot of trouble." Even more confused, the son asks, "I don't understand, why not?" The father thinks for a moment and says, "It used to work very well back then, but you can't really do it nowadays because there's way too many security cameras." A man works until midnight, but there's a problem. His wife is angry because her husband is never home, so she decides to leave him a note saying, "I've had enough of you and left you. Don't bother coming after me." Then she hid under the bed to see his reaction. After a short while, the husband comes back home and she sees him pick up the note. He shouts, "Yes, she's finally gone, about f***ing time." He immediately calls someone and says, "I'm coming to see you, babe. Put on that sexy French nightie. I'm on my way!" He hung up, grabbed his car keys and left. Filled with tears, she crawls out the bed and watched as her husband drove off. Stunned from what just happened, she immediately calls her friend and tells her about it. "I can't believe your husband is cheating on you," she says. "What did you write in the note?" As she grabs the note to read her friend what she wrote, she notices something weird. She says, "I'll call you later," and reads the note. It says, "We're out of bread, so I went to the supermarket. Be back in 5 minutes. And by the way, you suck at hiding."